Hello everyone. Today I am playing the current special format on MTG Arena, Amazonian's Play Anything Draft. Usually I don't record these special formats because it's hard to get a video out before they're gone, but this one goes in a funny enough way that I thought it was worth doing a video for anyway. So if you don't know what this is, basically you have Omniscience all the time. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana costs, and you have an additional ability to add 5 mana in the case of activated abilities, which occasionally is very important. What this means is that you don't want to put lands in your deck, so you need 40 spells, and that's actually what makes this format kind of interesting. Because you don't draft that many cards. Like, you only get 45 total cards in the draft, and so coming up with 40 playables is not that easy, even when you don't have to spend mana on them. You'll usually have a few duds that you need to work your way around. It's even more important that you work your way around because of the other most important thing. You only start with 3 cards. So you don't just immediately vomit 40 points of power onto the table, sometimes. So you need to actually have all your cards matter. I'll go ahead and explain the rest of what I've learned about this format as we get into it. I've done a bunch of these, so I've started to think that I understand what's good. So, level 1 in this format is to just take every really expensive spell that you see, like just pick big creatures and play them all, but that turns out to not actually be what's good. At least, it wasn't obvious for me. What is really good are cards that can trip, and even more so, cards that draw cards. So, Goreclaw is really bad in this format, because the mana reduction doesn't matter. This is actually a pretty bad pack, because we don't have any of the super slam dunk cards, and we don't have any of the really big creatures. The other cards, sometimes Mind Rot is just incredible. Like, if you play this on turn 1 on the play, you can just win the game. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's terrible. And basically any time after turn 1, it's usually terrible. The only other picks that I would really consider are Rabid Bite. Your creatures are very big in this format, so this is usually just kind of a Doomblade, but I'm actually going to take Tormenting Voice. As I mentioned before, you're usually going to have a few bad cards in this draft, and so being able to loot the bad card away and turn it into 2 potentially very good ones is super powerful. Okay, next pack. Best cards here. This card doesn't do anything, and we have a whole bunch of little creatures that don't really do much, so again, not a great pack. The good cards are Sky Scanner. As I said, any card that cantrips is great. The other option is Fiery Finish. You do want some amount of removal, and this is one of the better removal spells. It's much better than, say, Electrify. I think I'm going to go with the Sky Scanner. Okay, I mentioned what removal is good. Totally Lost is excellent. One of the keys of this format is kind of storming off, just, like, getting your card draw going and drawing a whole bunch of cards and, like, winning the game. And so, being able to take some random creature and put it on top of your opponent's deck to delay them for an entire turn can often break the game open, and expensive instants are really fun to play with Omniscience. I think it's between this card and the Spark Tongue Dragon. The dragon is quite versatile, it's often a 2-for-1, there's usually something you can kill with it, and then flyers are also pretty good in this format. There aren't that many huge flyers. I think it's relatively close between these. I'm going to go with the Totally Lost. Okay, again, this has not been my best draft, not by a long shot, which is a little upsetting, but the cards we've taken so far aren't bad. Again, Angel of Dawn is a pretty good card. This can help break open board stalls when it comes down, and then flyers are pretty good, but Totally Lost is just generally a very good card, so I'm going to go with that. Okay, again, really hoping for a better pack 2 than the pack 1. I was planning to talk about, like, the best cards in the format as they came up, but we have not seen any of them. Cancel, quite good, just unconditionally counter anything. Really powerful when it's free. Whew, and these packs just keep getting worse. Here, I think it's between Two-Headed Zombie, which is basically about as small as a creature as you're willing to play, but the menace is quite good. And Active Treason, which is just... it's not as good as it looks. Like, everyone's playing really big creatures, so you think it's going to be great, but usually the boards are stalled out, and so this is only really good if you have like a blood divination to sack the creature that you steal. That said, two-headed zombie is so mediocre that I might pick this just to speculate on getting a blood divination later. Anticipate, this is quite a good card. It doesn't cost you anything, and so it's just effectively play the best card out of your top 3. Okay, we finally hit a somewhat decent creature here, Knight of the Tusk. I could take another Totally Lost, but we've already got a couple of those. Tectonic Rift isn't... or no, it is terrible, sorry. The effect would be really good, like being able to break open a board stall and just attack with everyone, but there are no lands in this format, so you are not going to have a target for it. This continues to be sad. I could take Doomed Dissenter just because it's a double chump blocker, helps you if you fall behind early. I guess I'll take the Mind route and hope to get lucky with when I draw it. Gearsmith Guardian, mediocre, big creature. We've already seen these packs before, so I know that nothing particularly good is happening, but I still kind of wish something good would happen. I wonder if Infectious Horror is better or worse than Dragon Egg. I haven't taken a Dragon Egg yet. It might be useful. Okay, got another Active Treason. Oh, I must have missed this earlier. Bog Stomper is... There's like a group of giant creatures at common, and there's kind of like one of each. Like there's Knight of Tusk and Bog Stomper, and like you get them across all the colors. I somehow missed this earlier. That's kind of weird. So, this pack is much, much, much better than the last one. We have my first pick from last time, but we actually have 2 of the best picks in the format in Blood Divination and Divination. In general, I think Divination is actually probably the better card, because it's just always good, no matter... This is like one of the best cards in the format, no matter what the rest of your hand looks like. That said, Blood Divination has a higher ceiling if we get some of the right cards to go around it, and we already have double Active Treason, so I think this is where we want to be. Here, we didn't hit... I've said to my friends, I think the best card in this format is Sift. I think it's just beyond incredible. We do hit one of the better bombs, though. I didn't realize, because I've never played with this card, it doesn't care which player does it. If your opponent is trying to beat you down with flyers, they will be drawing you cards, so it's quite good. Divination, as I said, one of the best cards in the format. This pack is going a lot better than the previous one. Bone to Ash, I talked about why Cancel is good. This is almost always as good and often much better. The 2-for-1 is extremely powerful. This pack, not so good. I'll take Rise from the Grave. We already have a Tormenting Voice, and we have ways to counter what they're doing, so it could be good. Okay, this is an interesting pack. Gutter Snipe is one of the 2 effectively Storm win conditions in the format, and so I think I am going to be taking that. Like, if you play this and then just go off with Divinations and Blood Divinations, you kill your opponent really quickly. The other option is Psychic Corrosion, the 3-mana enchantment that mills for 2 whenever you draw a card. That's the one that I've actually won a lot of games with. But I guess I'll take Gutter Snipe here. I'm taking it over Frilled Sea Serpent, which is just a really mediocre card. Like, a 4/6 for 6 is fine. It's better than Gearsmith Guardian, but it's not impressive. So, I'm gonna shoot for the stars here. Here, we could take another Active Treason, but we only have the 1 Blood Divination, so I don't think that's necessary. I'm gonna go with Revitalize. It's just a cantrip, so it's always good, and it plays into the Gutter Snipe thing, I should say. Here, I think I'm just going to go with Infernal Scarring. Basically just another cantrip. Tormenting Voice or Anticipate? I'm going to go with Anticipate. Okay, this pack has come together much better than the last one did. Okay, we're going to need some more creatures to go with these. We've got a little bit too much of this effect, but I think we'll be okay. Again, Tormenting Voice could be good, and I might even take it here because, like I said, we're a little unbalanced on our combo sides. Uncomfortable Chill is just another cantrip card, so that's quite good at what it does. I'm gonna go with the Tormenting Voice. Bog Stomper, another late pick, real big creature. This card is not great, but last pick, what are you gonna do? So, because our win condition here is the Gutter Snipe, creature cantrips aren't as good as they usually are, but we only have one Gutter Snipe, so we're not guaranteed to draw it. I'm just going to go with Rock's Oracle. The card is quite good. In this pack... Ooh, this pack is not good. I guess we just go with our random generic big monster. That was unfortunate. Okay. Another Divination. Cool. We've got almost as much card draw as I want. You never have quite as much as you actually want. Anticipate, again, still excellent. We are really hoping to draw, like, Gutter Snipe plus Divination in our opener and just go off with Anticipates and Tormenting Voices and kill them that way. This pack is not good. Ugh. I might just take Thornhide Wolves. We already have 2 active Treasons, and I don't think I want 3 of that effect. So just generic big monster to lock down the ground. Whew. Yeah, this draft had a lot of good things going for it. Oh, I should mention, if our creature count was a little higher, I would be looking at Macabre Waltz. I think this card can be good. It sort of turns into a Tormenting Voice. You just discard something bad and get back 2 creatures. But we're more of a spells deck, so this doesn't work as well as we want it to. It's either Anticipate or Revitalize. I'm again going to go with Anticipate. We're trying to be a combo deck, so I want as much digging for my Gutter Snipe as possible. Sure, another Totally Lost. Yeah, so we've gotten some very good things in this deck. We've gotten some of the best cards possible, like Divination, Blood Divination, and a Storm win condition. But we've also gotten a lot of just mediocre chaff, and I don't love that. Ugh. I've taken Oaken Form before, but we don't have enough creatures for that. I guess I take Duress. We've already got 2, but ugh. Oh boy, this just keeps getting worse. Yeah. This is going to be a high highs and low lows deck. We're gonna have some very good moments, and we're gonna have some very bad ones. Yeah, cutting... Maybe I shouldn't cut the Duresses right off the bat, but I will cut Stitcher's Supplier. It is terrible. Wall of Mist actually blocks a fair number of the... Like, I think of them as just the beaters in this format, just the common big monsters that you attack with. So I don't hate having that. Mighty Leap is terrible, so I don't want to play with that. You can cut Catalyst Elemental, because it just doesn't do anything. Inspired Charge doesn't do anything in our deck. We get 1 more cut. I wish I could cut like 4 more cards, because this deck is not really good enough at the moment. I think all the creatures that we're playing now are okay. Most of the spells are okay. It's probably just one of these. Just cut one of the Infernal Scarrings. So, yeah. I just kind of breezed through it, but in case it's not obvious, when you don't have to pay for your spells, Divination is the best card ever because it replaces itself and gets you another card. Anticipate is just take the top card in your top 3 and you're not giving up anything. It doesn't cost you anything to keep doing this. So even though getting a Bog Stomper for free feels better than getting a Divination for free, it costs twice as much. This is basically 2 Bog Stompers. Like, it just draws you into 2 big creatures. Huh. I never noticed that that thing has a snake face, like the little red eyes. That's really creepy. Anywho, I think this deck could be really good, or it might fall on its face and die horribly, but we're gonna find out together. Okay, getting into it. It was really funny to see this format, like, evolve. This hand's fine. This card sucks, and this card is not great, but Divination is awesome. Mulliganing is also terrible. Give up a third of your a third of your cards every time you... Yeah. That's really not good, I promise. Like... Yeah, okay, sure. Alright, so... They had one thing that was really good, we've drawn one thing that's awful. Let's hope for something better here. Well, that counts. They say good game. It's not quite over yet. This card brings it back, right? So, we could take Rock's Oracle and just get up our card, but I really want to find the Gutter Snape here. So, what I'm actually going to do... We'll see what they do here. I think I'm just going to, right now, totally lost Infectious Horror. So that way they don't get to attack and make us lose the 2 life. So... Yeah, sure. I don't really have a value creature for this. My only Rock's Oracle is on the bottom. So... I was thinking that I wanted to get fancy and, like, block here and do that, but there's no reason to. I could just block with my wall. Another Infectious Horror is gone. We've got an 0-5 and a Gutter Snipe. Ooh, here we go. Well, these aren't great, but that is. They've set the good game a couple times. It looks like their deck didn't really come together. Infectious Horror is really not the type of card you want to play. Gutter Snipe and Bone to Ash, though, are exactly the cards that I want to play. I wonder what's in their hand. Maybe a Mind Rot? So they should have done it before we Bone to Ash, but whatever. Well, we've drawn a few of our really good cards, and also the mediocre half of our deck, but it looks like that'll be enough to finish things off. Okay, Bog Stomper, sure. Oh, okay, Macabre Bolts. They were waiting until a bunch of things were dead. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, didn't I cut these? No, I didn't. I had too many terrible cards. Okay, they pack it in. This format is fast and brutal. It's one of the reasons I'm recording with it. Okay, getting right into it again. The card that I was the most hoping for... Ugh. This hand sucks. God, is this worth mulliganing? I think it is. I think this hand is that bad. This hand is much better. Ooh. Okay. I'm fine with a 2-3. That shouldn't matter that much. Maybe I'll look like a fool. I'm going to cancel that, though. Because then I can rise from the grave it, and then I have a 3-7 to their 2-3. I think that puts me in a pretty good spot. Oh, no! Okay. I'd still rather have the Knight of the Tusk on board, but not a bad turn 1. Ours is just going to be better. Yeah. Like, as I was learning about the format, at first I didn't understand why other people were saying Gutter Snipe was so good, because in my experience, Revitalize was much worse than Rock's Oracle, the Rhino that's a 5-mana 4/2. And that's just, like, kind of true. Gaining 3 life is worse than putting a 4/2 in play. Oh my. Well, yeah. We have a staring contest in our hands. Neither player has good attacks. I could attack with this and be guaranteed something else, but like if they block with Colossal Dreadmaw and a Soldier, I look like a fool. I'm just gonna keep playing stuff out. Like, the odds of getting punished with a Mind Rot or something are much higher than any sort of sweeping the board effect. I believe Cleansing Nova's in this format, although I haven't seen it yet. I think that's an M19 card. Well, alright. I'm gonna keep playing out big monsters. They've got 2 cards in their hand. I wonder what it could be. Maybe like Duresses and Mind Rots, that type of thing. Oh boy. They drew their Divination before we did. Blood Divination here would be awesome. Sack the Dragon Egg, draw a bunch of cards. Uh-oh. We mulled to 2, so that was a pretty good 2, but oh man. I wondered if our opponent's deck was bad, just because they led on this awful card and then had some pretty mediocre other stuff, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like they've figured the format out. keep wanting this card to be good, but there just aren't enough artifacts. Like, Sky Scanners go too early. You can't get, like, 6 Sky Scanners to make this good. Well, here we are. I guess that's just my biggest hope. I hope they have, like, a million discard effects in hand, and that's just what, like, if their deck just has, like, 5 Mind Rots in it. Oh, boy. I'm not feeling good just because our boards are comparable, but they've got 5 cards in hand, which should be like a death sentence in this format. But all it takes is 1 Divination or Blood Divination or even an Anticipate into any of those cards, and we can just win the game with a reasonable degree of certainty. Or we can keep drawing garbage. This card can actually attack on this board, though. Like, they can throw some amount of garbage under it, but if it's either going to eat a bunch of creatures, or it's going to eat the Colossal Dreadmaw. And if the Dreadmaw goes down, then these Knights of the Tusk can actually start applying real pressure. Yep, sure. So we might be on the verge of breaking this board stall. Wouldn't count on it, though. I'm just wondering what they could possibly have going on with 6 cards in hand. Ah, okay. This is a good, like, place because she has the ability to sacrifice her. This is the main thing that could be annoying with my plan, is if they get a lot of their stuff indestructible. And we are off to the races. Hopefully we draw something good here. Again, I don't know what they could have drafted. Well, that sucks. That's just... oh boy. I wish we had drawn these in the other order. Oh, but here's what we can do. Now they're incentivized to sack Lena, which is kind of cool because that means this is just a removal spell. Yeah. Because if they hadn't done this, like, their life is just ruined. We get to steal it and give our team indestructible and draw a card. Like, it would have been terrible for them. Yeah, these are all indestructible now. I guess I could have done the Spark Tongue Dragon first. I'll wait until next turn to do that, so. Huh. I could wait until next turn. Actually, I'm going to bank that my instincts were right, and that they are just holding a whole bunch of discard spells, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I guess they could have, like, active treasons and stuff, too. But, I don't want to hold the Spark Tongue and try to shoot some random creature, and then have them mind rotted away. I don't want to lose my cool creature for no reason. Because this adds Wooburg every turn, like, I can activate it once a turn, I can Fire Breathe my dragon exactly once, which is kind of funny to me. Oh, please don't have a Cleansing Nova. Okay, Rock's Oracle, sure. That's a lot more beatable than Cleansing Nova. Yep, sure. Dang, their deck is really good. Their deck is a lot better than ours. We may have drawn the right cards to win anyway, though. Sure. Like, I was just talking about how the Gaspark Twins was getting ready to make headway, but, like, that's no longer the case. A single Rock's Oracle and the Scholar trade for it, which means we're not actually eating into their board, like, at all. I was excited for Lava Axe in this format until I found out that Revitalize was one of the best cards, and then Lava Axe started looking a lot worse. Okay. What do you got, Rhino Man? Well, that's why Tormenting Voice isn't the perfect card. I mean, I'm not using the mana for anything else, so I guess I'll go ahead and do that. This is just really funny to me. And it shortens the clock. It makes it a 3-turn clock instead of 4. Ah, or not. Ah, that's the other thing they could be sitting on, I guess, if they didn't... In our deck, we're kind of incentivized to just blow cards like this, because we want to dig to our Gutter Snipe as quickly as possible, but if they don't have... Oh, that's a really good draw. Usually this card... I should say, usually games are over before this card can matter much, but if games go long at all, like this one has, then Colossal Majesty is really good. Ooh. This is actually better. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Please let us attack. I hope it is good game, opponent, because this should be really, really good. I just talked about how good Colossal Majesty was. This is going to draw us a lot more cards very quickly. Yep, take action. Okay. We don't have any other activated abilities, so I will do this. Okay, we're back in our main phase. Let's start by anticipating. I kind of want to duress to see what's going on over there. And it's an instant of sorcery, so it's good with Gutter Snipe. But, yeah, this works. Because now I can duress them. And then I can Tormenting Voice pitching this Mind Rot. We can see what the heck was going on this whole time. Ah, I was right. They had just had a bunch of discard spells. Okay. Man, these dresses are, like, not very good, but... Yeah! That is by far the longest game I've played this format, but it worked out for us. Okay. Third game with our almost incredible, instead kind of whatever deck. This hand looks pretty good. Anticipate is always welcome. Abnormal Endurance is good with Gaspark Twins. This is like the biggest creature in the format, basically. Ooh, I don't mind a cancel here. We might go like almost like a Delver route here, in that we played a good threat. We have resistance to it being killed, and we have protection to stop them from doing anything too ridiculous. Yep, sure. I'm gonna go ahead and try to cancel that. Drawing 2 cards is too good. Can't allow that. Okay. This opponent also appears to have figured the format out. They seem to have a good deck. Oh, man, they have a really good deck. That's also just really lucky, getting, like, multiple divinations in the top 10. That said, this card is not good. So if their deck has a bunch of these, we might be okay with our Gaspark Twins plan. Oh my gosh! They have the perfect card to turn their weak stuff into good stuff. Holy crap. Yeah, that's how this format goes sometimes. Like, we have 36 cards left in our deck. In our top, I don't know, I guess we saw 6 cards. We didn't see any of our super amazing stuff. So, yeah, they're just gonna get to go up. I hate this. I don't know why this happens. Even if I have auto pass on in this format, it makes me keep getting priority anyway, which is really irritating because it makes me want to concede instead of sitting here because I have to keep clicking. Okay, that's enough for me. This might be the best deck I've ever seen. 4 divinations in the top 10 cards is just beyond unreal, so good for you, opponent. Okay. I think before I said that Sift was the best card in the format, and that's not quite accurate. This hand is good. What's actually the best card in the format is the 10 mana red mythic Apex of Power, because that is basically draw 7 cards, which is really dumb. Comfortable chill, sure. Like, I had an opponent cast that on me, and the rest of their deck wasn't even good. It was basically all fire elemental type creatures. Let's see if I can find a counter. Well, I wish I hadn't done that. These are, like, all my best cards. So I'm actually going to take the Knight of the Tusk, so that those other good ones are still in my deck after this Mind Rot resolves. But yeah, Apex of Power is just draw 7, and then also if you have any activated abilities, you have enough mana for all those too. It is really stupid. See, look how good their Mind Rot was, and how terrible ours was. I played this on turn 1. Like, it's not like I waited. And it was still so much worse than what they did. I discarded a Knight of the Tusk, so I guess. I'm actually going to hold on to this, because it doesn't do anything on this board. Like, it doesn't block their 5/4. We can always just play it out if we draw the Blood Divination again somehow. I don't think our deck can shuffle, so we're actually just kind of screwed with... Wow! That draw is so good against us trying to block with a 3/7. Holy crap. Yeah, I think we're just kind of screwed, because our 2 best cards are on the bottom. This is why I held the Wall of Mist, though. Oh boy. Oh. See, last game, our opponent's deck was incredible, and that's why we got destroyed. Go ahead and cancel this, I guess. Die a little more slowly. This time, our opponent's deck is not incredible. It's fine, at best. But we have gotten absolutely destroyed by how their draw lined up against ours. Like, if I had just not anticipated on turn 1... God, we're just dead here. If instead I had, what is it? If I had just let the Mind Rot happen and discarded Anticipate plus the Gearsmith Guardian, then we would have drawn, like, Divination into Divination plus, or into Blood Divination plus a creature, and just completely gone off. Yeah, we can't win. Oh, that was a really frustrating game. That's just, if we were on the play, we win that game so easily, and instead we got destroyed. Fortunately, the best thing about this format is that it's really, really fast. So even after a super frustrating game like that... Oh man, see, like, this hand is terrible. But we're on the play, and so Mind Rot is suddenly amazing. And we just get to... We get cheesed by a card that I promise you is not as good as you want it to be, and then immediately get to do it to someone else. Holy crap, how good is their hand that they wanted to discard that. That's gross and scary. We could just... I'm just going to take their Angel, just get some pressure on board. I don't think we're going to get a better target, is the main reason to do this. It's got to be like another Divination, right? Or maybe a Sift or something like that. Okay, big dude. No, they pitched... Really? Okay, best draw in our deck here is Blood Divination. Because we're going to steal this guy and smack them for 1,000,000 damage. And then we would... Yeah. So, I'm actually going to wait, because they're going to keep doing this to this creature, and so it'll be a better attacker later. Like, they're going to buff it up again, and so it'll be a 9 power next time. Which is not quite enough to kill them with these two, but... Okay. Another Act of Treason would kill? That'd be cool. Okay. Now that's funny. Sure, I'll buff my Knight of the Tusk. This game makes that last game worth it. Alright, we're still alive. We get to keep playing. Okay. Still in it. Still alive. Wouldn't mind another game going like that one. This hand's pretty medium, but maybe Anticipate will forgive our sins. Anticipate into, like, Blood Divination. Sack our 2-headed zombie. Oh, it said we were going first. We can just Anticipate into Mind Rot and cheese them out of the game again. It's funny, because I don't think our draw would have beaten if they just Mind Rotted and kept the Divination in hand. These creatures are kind of medium. I'm just gonna go with cancel to stop a potential storm turn. Like, I really do. My opinion of cancel has gone up since I realized that how good the card draw decks are. Well, that's unfortunate. And I guess that's like the next level. I don't think Duress or Mind Rot are that great, but they get a lot better if this is what everyone's doing in this format. Oh man, this is really good with a bunch of Tormenting Voices. I hadn't thought of that before. Oh, please don't play a Blood Divination. Please don't do it to me. Oh, please. Okay. Okay. I was really scared. Dissipate. Well, here we are. Let's target you. Discard your cards. Okay. Unfortunately for them, my zombie has Menace. So, no blocking. I could have potentially Active Treasoned there, hit them for 8, but I don't know how good that actually is. I think they'll probably play a better creature later. Okay. They can just bring this back to their hand at any time. So what I'm actually going to do is hit them for 4, and then I'm just going to Spark Tongue their face. No, don't cancel it. Don't kill my guy. Oh, man, that's even so much better. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was a good sequence for them. They draw the Bone Devesh, we immediately draw a creature. Okay. So, I'm kind of just winning as the game is going right now, so I kind of don't want to do anything here. Especially because I think it's reasonably likely they hit me for 2 and then... Or, rather, they don't hit me for 2, but they play another creature and they try to double block my 2-headed zombie, and then Active Treason will just win the game. So I kind of want to hold on to this, the way the game is going. Ah, and then I get super punished by the second Duress. Yeah, there are multiple good discards at common, so... Huh. This is lethal if this works, so I'm gonna go for it. Please don't have another Bone Dash. Well, you know what, that's fine. Alright, I have lethal on board. Your move, opponent. You need at least 3 blockers to stop me from just killing you with Active Treason. Okay. It's not bad at all in this format. Just sort of infinite Tormenting Voices. Just keep looting away your bad cards. They had a Duress and they didn't burn it on my act. Weird. Okay, this is a lot of firsts this league, because that was the weirdest game I've played. Okay, we are 2 games away from netting gems on this draft, which, given how terrible that first pack was, I would be fine with that being how this goes. This hand is not the best ever, because we're on the draw. Like, if they just play a Divination here and start to go off, we're in trouble. But having a counter on the play, a reasonable-sized creature, and then removal is, like, kind of where I want to be. Okay, Blood Divination off the top, please. Okay. Sure, I guess. This way they'll be denied a draw for a turn. Alright, so next turn they draw and play the Thornhide Wolves. They will not draw off Colossal Majesty because the creature isn't there. Then on our turn we get to attack. This will probably be all that gets in. Oh! That is actually an excellent draw. Yeah! This card is kind of weird because its body doesn't quite measure up. A 3/3 is like not really the rate that you want to go for in this format. It's a little too small when everyone else is playing 4/5s and stuff. But just being able to shoot something for 3 is really powerful. Okay, sure. That is not big enough to trigger Majesty, so we do not care about it. Oh, Dragon Egg, you're so bad. You're so bad. You don't do anything. I think we picked it over another stupid card that doesn't do anything, though. So, alright, I'm gonna Duress here, try to clear the way for my Divination in case they have a cancel or something. Sure. Yeah, glad to get that out of there. Sweet. Well, those cards aren't very good. Let's see. Yeah, their blocks still aren't good, so whatever. Yeah, that's, oh boy. That was a very bad divination. Those were very bad cards to draw. We still got there, though. Oh boy. Okay. After the first couple games, I thought we had seen how this deck would go. It's either gonna draw the right half and storm off and win, or it's gonna draw the wrong half and just die horribly. But instead we've gotten a bunch of weird games where we kind of half and half it, and that's just odd to me. Ooh, this is our best card. So, I think I'm gonna do it. I wanted to play the Spark-Tongue Dragon this turn anyway, because it will, I don't want to hold cards in hand, I don't want to make Mind Rots good. So, I'd rather have 3 cards in hand than a 3/3 in play. Oh, please don't have a counter. Oh, that's so brutal. Yeah. One thing that's kind of funny is normally if I play a creature and my opponent has priority and hesitates, I'd get really worried, because it's like, oh, they definitely have a counter. What else could they possibly have? But one, you always have mana up. Like, always have infinite mana up, so, like, the cost of the cards is irrelevant. It's not, am I playing... Oh, man! What a jerk. Cancels our Blood Divination and then has the perfect chain themselves. Yeah, we're probably dead here. They're just gonna storm off and win the game. But, yeah. Okay, this is gonna be another one of those games. At least this opponent's playing swiftly. Sometimes people get... Jeez. What is with our opponents and just having the best decks ever? I haven't ever had 5 divinations. That's... No, only 4. I lied. Well, 5 if you count the blood divination, but... Okay. I guess we still play this out if they're not going to keep going off, because we could still win. Yep. We don't have very long, because they've got all the cards in the world, but, like, if we divination into Gutter Snipe plus another divination and then just go off from there, we could win the game. Seems unlikely, though. That is definitely not how we do it. Oh, Tormenting Voice, why must you haunt me so? Still, they're not killing us that fast. I expected a bunch more of this, like 6 Colossal Dreadmaws, but instead they just did nothing. Yeah, I think this is the end of the road for us, though. We're almost certainly dead, and... I mean, whatever. We'll take 12. We can take our 2 more draws with the Tormenting Voice. I assume they have another cancel, but... Alright, opponent had a way better deck than us and drew absolute perfect. That's how it goes sometimes. This format is fast and brutal, and everything ends almost immediately. It's sort of like what people always assume Vintage is. You just storm off, and if your opponent can interact with you at the right moment, you die, and if they can't, they die on turn 1. Anywho, I thought this format was fun, and I had started to figure out the strategy, so I wanted to show off what it could do, even though our draft didn't actually go that well, but hey, whatever. So, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more stuff like this, or like the constructed content I more usually make, I would love it if you could subscribe to the channel. It helps you find all of our videos, and as well as helps other people find the channel. That's all for today, thanks for watching.